Hello, folks. How you doing? All right. I want to talk about well, the god Ptah as creator of form. Okay, and not only that, we want to get to where did Ptah come from? Where did he actually originate? And how we know this? Okay, and we talk about that idea of Ptah as creator of form. He was also called the blacksmith. Blacksmith work with metal. So if Ptah creates form, he's the creator of form. We're talking about metal, but we're talking about the metal inside of us. Now, we talk about bimetal, okay? We talk about bimetal, okay? And so bi means spirit. And then we have metal, bimetal. Is this telling us that spirit is composed of metal? Yeah. Metal with its electricity. Metal conducts electricity. Now, so God, okay, and we see, Ptah, the god Ptah, we see is associated with metal, okay? But we want to trace Ptah. We want to get back to its origins. The first Ptah, okay, was Bes, a god called Bes. He's the first Ptah, okay? Now, Bes come from Inner Africa, okay? He's a pygmy god. He's short in stature, well-defined African features. You see, clearly he's from Africa. Clearly he's from Inner Africa. But we're talking about metals also, creator of metals, or creator with metals. But Inner Africa, as we know, is known for its metals, its minerals. They're in the ground. In today's world, every country on earth would like to get some of those metals because they're very expensive. Well, anyway, we see now that Inner Africa, the land of the pygmies around the Democratic Republic of Congo in this region, okay, we find the pygmies here. And the pygmies, believe it, are very, very spiritual people. They see spirits everywhere, in the trees, in the streams, you know what I mean? In the mountains or wherever. There's a spirit. They see spirits here, These are very, very ancient folks. The Kemites said that they are the first humans, okay? Now, so we see that Bes, the god Bes, is associated with metal. He's from the land of spirits, so he's associated with spirit too. So we put the spirit and the metal together and gives us bimetal. Ba is the spirit, and metal is metal. Bimetal. So now, Ptah as creator god and blacksmith, okay, created out of metal. But remember, the Ptah was the god sitting at the potter's wheel. Okay? And so he had clay, and he was forming the child. Well, clay is a mineral. Metals are minerals. So now we're beginning to put this together. Okay? So now we see now that Ptah originated under the name of Bes in Inner Africa. We found his origin, okay, because he is associated with metals, that is, forming things out of metals. But we're talking about the human spirit. The human spirit, the Ba, is amorphous. It has no defined form or shape. It is like what they call the uncarved block, which we can envision as just a block unformed until the sculptor forms it. Okay? So Ptah, creator out of metals, forms this amorphous spirit, which is composed of metal. Our spirit is composed of metals. This is where we get the bimetal from, the spirit of metal. It's our spirit. And we can form and transform. Well, if it is undefined, it has no defined shape, then we must give it shape. We must give our spirit form. They call it spiritual development. Okay? So Ptah also creates in the name of Ptah. Keper is a god of formation, transformation, reformation, etc. We're talking about the spirit, transforming, reforming the spirit, our own spirit. So now, we have an imagination. Imagery. Have we ever thought about, well, what is this imagery made of? What is it composed of? We give form to the images that we work up in our head. We give form to these images. We can give any shape or form to our imagery that we wish. You can even change its color. An image can be blue, green, black, white, any color. Whatever color we wish it to be. When we do this, we are forming spirit, our own. We're giving form to it through our imagery. You see? So now let's take a person, for example, who wants to be, let's say, a nurse or a carpenter. Okay? He transforms himself into a nurse or a carpenter. He transforms his spirit. He and the spirit are the same. So he transforms himself from a person who is not a nurse or a carpenter into a person who is a nurse or a carpenter. He transforms himself. And people should be aware of this, because a person can be transformed by someone else too. They call it brainwashing or something. You know what I mean? So a person needs to be aware of this and make sure that he forms his own being, his own self. So, yeah, we can be transformed by someone else if we're not watchful and paying attention, okay? But anyway, we have the time of birth. We get into astrology or something here. You know what I mean? What happens at the time of birth, okay? Remembering that the spirit is undefined, okay? So now when we are born into the world, okay, the cosmic influx, energy from the sun, the moon, and whatever comes from the planets, has an effect on us. First thing, when we're born. So, and the location, wherever we are on earth at the time when we're born, that plays a part too. Okay? So it will have an effect on perhaps the type of person we'll turn out to be in this life. Okay? But we still have the power of transformation. Whatever effect that the astrology has on us when we were born, okay, within, let's say, a certain region or area of that effect, humans have a choice. They can do what they want to do or transform themselves into what they want to be. You see. So this is, again, we call this bimetal. Okay? And it has to do with the human's ability to transform himself to be whatever he wants to be. Okay? When a person does this, when a person's knows this and is able to make the transformations, because he can redefine, he can form, transform, and reform. Because he has the will, and so he has the influence, the power over his own spirit, or over his own self. Okay? So this here will get us into what we call the Anku, the truly living. The truly living is a person who can do this, who knows himself so well that he will be able to knowingly change himself according to his desire. He knows the Spirit. Well, he is the Spirit. So we can say that he knows himself. So this would come under self-knowledge. You see. So when a person is able to acquire self-knowledge, knowledge of himself, knowledge of his spirit, which he is, okay, he becomes the Anku. He becomes one of the truly living. Okay. So we see now that our imagery is spirit. And we know we can have an effect over our imagery. So when a person wants to be a nurse or something, whatever, person can imagine himself as being a nurse. This will become like a seed. And he works on becoming a nurse. He transforms his spirit to that extent, to where he becomes a nurse. Okay. Now, there's many other things that can be talked about relative to this transformation, etc., and which we will get into in time. We'll get into such things as the cosmic influx, which has an effect on us all the time. And we get into environmental dynamics, not only external environment, but the internal environment. Okay? All this comes under spirit. Okay? And then we get into human ingenuity. Okay? And so forth and so on. And the fixation of the car. Okay? And so we can get into these things in future videos. And subscribe. If you're still with me, subscribe. And yeah, that'll be helpful to me. Thank you very much. And have a good day, folks. All right. Bye-bye.